being taught, as we are being taught also. So you are highly welcome, and this is your program. This seminar is hosted by the AEC, Academic Excellence Committee of the ASURC. So you are highly welcome. Okay, moving on. I want to recognize our Honorable President, His Excellency Orlando Tieblo, and every NEC member on the platform tonight. His Excellency, Honorable, you are welcome, sir, for a special remark to every one of us.
All right, thank you so much. Somebody please confirm in the chat session if you can hear me for the most part. Okay, thank you. So good evening to us here in China and probably for those that will follow the program at any point in time. Hello to you. So I'm Orlando, the national president, and today's event is very important to the sense that it touched the very core of our being here in China. On yesterday night, I was opportune to speak to the students of Wuhan, and in my deliberation to them, there was a part that centers on excellence, because excellence is not something that is optional to us as LSUIC, to us as Liberian students in China. Excellence is engulfed in our union motto and even in our emblem as a union that talks about excellence through hard work. So for us, it's not an option. It is a must. It is a must to the extent that we have to exercise or promote excellence, whether through homework or assignment. We have to promote excellence, whether through our research papers, whether in the classroom, taking exams, being in a laboratory, or whatever we find ourselves. We have to be ambassadors of excellence. But excellence sometimes or most times will not just come or be seen if there is no hard work. And for you as a student to build that effective study habit, it comes with both hard work and excellence. And we are hopeful that after this training tonight, you're going to carry something very meaningful that can help empower you for the rest of your time here in China. It might be less, it might be more, but we are hopeful that whatever that will be taught about here today will be meaningful to you just as a contribution to the many things that you're also learning from people out there. Thanks ever so much to the Academic Excellence Committee, headed by Mr. Moba and his team for the great job that you are doing to ensure that excellence through hard work is achieved under this leadership. Thank you, and I wish you all of the very best. I will be here with our pen and paper to take notes. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable President, for that wonderful remark. We are here to achieve excellence through hard work. So moving on because of time, I want every one of us to kindly reach to welcome the chairman of the AEC, Academic Excellence Committee to introduce our program for tonight, and also our esteemed speaker that will be teaching us tonight how to build effective or steady habits. So let us kindly welcome Dr. Christian Moba to introduce our program for tonight. Doctor, you are highly welcome.
Thank you so much. I think you guys can hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you so much for the beginning of the program so far. So my name is Christian Mova, and I'm serving as the chairman of the Academic Excellence Committee. The committee is made of a few members, and I will be going through them maybe in the next 1 minute, so we can begin with the introduction of the guest speaker. So I'm the chairman of the committee, and next we have the co-chair. The co-chair is Edwin, a very hardworking guy. And next we have the secretary. She's the host of the event tonight. And then she's from Chandu. And next up we have Arlington. Arlington is in Nanjing. We also have Joseph, Honorable Joseph Galipe from Shanghai. And lastly, we have Joshua from Nanjing. So we are the Academic Excellence Committee, and we have a lot of programs in store for you guys. And hopefully, we like do impactful event, and you guys can increase the attendance and interest in what we'll do, and hopefully everything can go smooth this semester. So the guest speaker today is my friend, he's my colleague, he's my classmate, a very strong guy who have very strong academic background, especially when it comes to teaching. I've had a series of events before. We have interacted in many classroom situations, but then I've seen his performance at one of our events at the Association of International Engineering Students, and he is the kind of guy who is able to level set with the audience that he have, and I can assure you that he will be bringing a lot to you guys today so that you can digest, and going forward that you can have a very effective study plans, and he will make it as interactive as possible so you'll be able to ask your questions and get them solved. So our guest speaker have a PhD in PhD in environmental and engineering at the Jensu University, and currently he graduated, so he's based in Ghana, and he's a lecturer there at Timil Technical University in Ghana. He's teaching some technical courses, and he's also the assistant director of research at the OAAD Global. I think we all know what we're talking about. So, without wasting much of your time, I want to introduce my friend, my colleague, Dr. Mr. Hussein. You're welcome to take over the program, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. So we have heard a lot about our speaker for tonight. And as we all know, tonight is about learning and knowing how to build effective study habits. With you as a PhD student, master students, even PhD, seniors, aiming for higher heights in your academics, this is for you. So kindly take your pen, your your paper and get yourself involved. Are you there? You are highly welcome, sir. Let us kindly welcome our speaker for tonight, Dr. Mansur Hossain, who's going to teach us how to build an effective study habits.
All right.
Doctor,
thank you very much. All right. Can you hear me, please? Am I audible?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you very much
can.
for this great opportunity. And I'm happy to be with you. Can I share my PPT before I start?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Let me. Hello, please, can you see my PPT?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Thank you for this great opportunity. As I said, my friend and my good comrade is Chris. We've been together on campus. So when he informed me about this great and wonderful, I'm here. I'm happy to be with my brothers and sisters from Liberia. So as I was rightly introduced, my name is Mansur Hossain, a lecturer at Tamale Technical University in Ghana. And I currently hold a PhD in environmental science and engineering from Jiangsu University, China, but I'm currently in Ghana. So good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, based on your time zone. I'm happy to be with you. And I would like to know where you are currently watching or listening this particular session from, whether in China, from Kenya, from Liberia, from USA, wherever. Kindly type it in the message box where you are listening or watching us from. Thank you very much for this great opportunity. Yeah, so today is going to be a great day. We are going to actually learn and share a lot among ourselves. So as we all know, the topic given to me is semester game plan, building effective study plan. Yeah, so I think I see China. Let me read some of the comments as we go. So I can see Joseph from Dubai and Darius Johnson from China. Yes, I can see another person from China, listening from China. That's great. You are doing wonderful. I really like that. Let's keep the program more active. I'm not in quotes kind of just going to teach. Yeah, I believe in conversation. I believe in collaboration, sharing of ideas. I'm not here to just teach you. Whatever I'm going to say here, it's not going to be new to any of you. So we are I have only been given the opportunity to lead this discussion. It doesn't mean that I am better than you. It doesn't mean that you cannot present what I am presenting here. So this is just an opportunity given to me. Therefore, I'll give you the opportunity to participate through some of these questions I ask through the message or the chat box, or in our deliberation. I shall also ask some questions which will need you to equally speak to everyone here. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a win-win situation. I learned something from you, you equally learn something from me. Thank you very much. So I can see Kole Kamen. I am Justin Kole Kamen, following from Wuxi, Jiangsu province. Thank you very much. I have HP from China, and also Alexander from China, Liberian Student Union from China. Thank you very much. That's very great. Okay, so let's delve into today's business. So as I have been given the task, I am going to take you through some of these topics. Very short one. Okay. All right. So we are going to look at the introduction. We shall be looking at key study strategies. We shall also be looking at building your study plan. We shall be looking at some questions and answers as well as a conclusion. So to begin with, I know most of us, or we are all university graduates, if I may call it, if I may say so. Yeah, so at this particular point in time, please let me know your level of study, whether you are undergrad, whether you are master's student, or maybe PhD student. Kindly type your level of education in the chat box so that that will also guide my discussion with you. If I realize most of us are undergrads, I'll know how to kind of put my discussion. If most of us are also masters or PhD, I will know how to put my discussion. Or if it's a mixture of the two, equally, I will know how to kind of go with my discussion. So kindly, I can see HP for master student, that's great. Yeah, HP. Then I can see another person also. Abraham, undergrad student. Okay, that's well noted. Thank you. So from this, I can see that we have masters and undergrad students more here. All right. Do we have PhD candidates or students here as well? All right. Kindly let us know in the chat box. So if we may reflect, yes, Joseph from undergrad, that's fine. That's great to know. Yes. So when we reflect after our primary school, okay, we have someone, Olano, a PhD candidate. That's great. You are all warmly welcome. And if we may reflect back to our primary school, you realize that studies in the primary school is far different from our junior high or the middle school. Then after our junior high or the middle school, we go to the secondary schools. You realize that studies in the secondary schools is equally different from our universities or the tertiary education. How tertiary education also, as we know, tertiary education divided into different segments. We have the undergrads, we have the masters, we have the PhD. So when you are swimming from one stage to the other, you realize that the tone of your study also changes. The reality of education changes from one place to the other. The same way, now I can say we are all in university now, and that's a very great opportunity. Not everyone has had the opportunity to be in China. Not everyone has had the opportunity to be in a university. Some are struggling to have their way to the university. So it is a great opportunity for you to be in the university. However, for you to be successful in your university studies, in your education, for you to be successful in your tertiary education, you need to carry along with you some tools. You need to carry with you some preparations because it is like a battle ahead of you. And if you go into a battle without preparation and proper planning, you are going to lose that battle. Therefore, in the field of education, what are some of these tools that we need to carry with us? What are some of the weapons of education that we need to carry with us? What are the things we need to do to pass our examinations? What are the things we need to do so that we can comprehend and understand all the courses that we are being taught, irrespective of your field of specialization? So I would like to also know your field of specialization. Are you in agric engineering? Are you in marketing? Are you in environmental science and engineering? Are you in material science and engineering? Kindly type your field of specialization so that we equally know where or your area of specialization. That will also help us a lot. Yes, so irrespective of the field of your education, we have one major objective. And what is this objective? It's to what? Come out or excel in our academic endeavor. Is to come out with good grades. It is to come out with flying colors. It's to get, yes, someone doing pharmacy, that's agronomy, agric, that's School of Biotechnology, Microbiology from Coley, that's great. You all have special and wonderful areas of study. I have artificial intelligence from Abraham. That's very great. So you can see that we all have our diverse areas of specialization or studies. And all these fields of study, they are to help us propel development. I can see economics auditing from Robert. That's very great. Thank you. Irrespective of the field you are studying, it is very important because each field of study you are into, at the end of the day, is going to propel development. I have international economics and trade from Joseph School of Economics and Management from HP. That's very good. As I was saying, just take your study serious. Be proud of your field of specialization. No field of specialization is better than the other because at the end of the day, each field of study is designed to fulfill, okay, a particular need in our society. And by fulfilling this need, we are going to propel development. So the reality in university education is far different from other levels of education. So what are the things we need to know? What are the things we need to do? Now let's see. First of all, multiple courses, tight deadlines, and competing priorities. If this is your first year in university, in your first semester, things will look different for you. And if you are a master's or a PhD student, kindly reflect back on your first day in the university, your first semester. How were you handling things? Can some of you share your thoughts with me? Because you realize that your first day in the university, the first lecture you attend, the first semester, how you handle things, how you see things are not the same. Are they the same? Your first year, first course, or in your first semester, how you see things in the school is not the same as when you reach in your fourth year. Yes. So you realize that in the university, we have multiple courses. We have elective courses. We have core courses. We have common courses from the faculty. We have some courses that anyone in the university undertakes that particular course, irrespective of your field of specialization. Whether you are doing economics, whether you are doing medicine, whether you are doing pharmacy, whether you are doing artificial intelligence, agric, irrespective of the course you are undertaking, there are certain core courses. Okay. Okay, someone said everything went too fast, was confused, but initially excited about everything. Yeah, that's great. That's a great experience to share with us. That's very great. Yes, so everybody and how he or she adapts to that environment, to that situation. Yes, so as I was saying, when in your first semester, you might be faced with so many courses. Some of them, you don't know why you are even undertaking them because some of those courses are university-wide courses. Some of them are specific to your faculty. First class was comprehensive Chinese. Everything felt so wide. Yeah, that's very great. You made me remember my first year during my master where we had to undertake the Chinese course. We had to undertake overview of China. I think most of us study in China. These two courses are common. How many of you did this course? Overview of China and the Chinese 1 and 2. I think irrespective of the course you are doing in my school, you would have to swim through. And at least it was interesting. At least through that, we got to learn a lot of Chinese culture. We were able to learn more the language and most things about China. That was very great. Yes. So, and also studying in your home country is far different from studying in abroad or studying in China. So these are some of the dynamics that we need to take note of. Yes. So in the universities too, you have deadlines. All right. It was a bit strange because of the different environment and style of teaching from Johnson. Yeah, that's great. They are composed, currently doing those two. That's great from Collier for comment. Yeah. So that's it. That's the reality of university education. And some of us, we had the opportunity to study our tertiary education part were in Africa, in our home country, and we continue with the masters in PhD in China. So we have a blend of the two. We have the spectacles of both geographical destinations. All right. So I think if we are all to share our experience, everybody will bring his or her unique experience in their tertiary life. Yes. So as I was saying, every lecturer treats his or her own course as their independent task, so far as you, the students, are concerned, so far as you are concerned. All right. So you can have like 8 or 9 or 10 courses in your first semester or per semester. All right. So you, the students, each of these lecturers will give you their assignments. They will give you research or whatever for you to go and undertake. All right. And each of them will give you deadlines. They don't care whether you have other assignments from other lecturers. They don't care because they equally have their schedule with you. They have their curriculum that they would have to undertake or exhaust with you. So through this, you have different assignments, and also in the university, we have different programs. In my university, we have different associations, and even some of these programs, when you attend, you need to show records. You have to get a stamp to indicate that, yes, you have attended these programs. So in the midst of the study, you have other extracurricular activities. You have your personal plans, you have some family plans, among others. So at the university, you realize that you have tight schedules compared to when you were in your secondary or middle school. And also you have competing priorities. Maybe you have a lecture to attend, there's a program to attend, just as this lecture we are having. Assuming you are a student, you realize that, okay, the Liberian Students Association have this a pressing or important program you want to attend so that you can learn some things from it. At the same time, you have a lecture, or at the same time, you have scheduled a meeting with a friend. So you realize that one person at a particular time has competing interests. So the question comes, how do you choose one over the other? All right. So as we progress, we shall look at all these things. All right. The next one, common challenges. That is not to say university education does not come with challenges, all right? Yes, as I was saying, when you get admission, when you are enrolled in the university, you are being faced with tight schedules, different courses, different assignments, different presentations, and what have you. Group studies, group discussions, among others. And sometimes we have what we call homesickness. Some of you miss home. You find yourself in new environment. Some of us, when we went to China, in the first 3 months, even how to speak the language, it was a problem. How to use Pindot or how to use Taobao, how to find your location to some lecture house was a problem. Some of us, where we find ourselves, the people know that there are only few foreigners. Therefore, how to integrate in the assignment, I'll do it next week. Or I'll do this assignment next month. We keep procrastinating. And we also have burnout and poor retention. These are some of the challenges that I want you to take note. We will digest them into details as we progress. Now, there's also another thing that has to do with the reality of university life or learning. Successful students strategize, not just study. That's one thing you should know. Yes, anyone, if someone is to advise you, they will be like, oh, study hard, study hard, study hard, study hard. Yes, as a student, your basic responsibility or your primary goal is to study, because you can only get information. You can only be educated through learning. So through learning, you gain a lot. So if you're a student, you are not learning, it means you cannot achieve your objectives. All right? However, it's not just learning like that. It's not just learning anyhow. Sometimes I tell others, you have to learn how to learn. Just as you have to learn how to teach. So people learn how to learn. Okay? Others teach how to learn. Others teach how to teach. All right? And others also learn how to teach. So they go hand in hand. Therefore, as a student, you have to learn how to learn, all right? So successful students strategize, okay? So you have to have a strategy of your learning. You have to have a strategy of doing your assignment. You have to have a strategy for everything you do. Because without strategy, you waste a lot of time, but with proper strategy, you'll be able to utilize your time effectively, and you shall be able to achieve your goals at the right time. Now, let's look at key study strategies, okay? Number one, master effective time management. As I was saying, everything we do has a particular time limit, all right? So we do everything in a space of time. Therefore, as one of the strategies, as I rightly indicated, is for you to have effective time management. If you are studying or if you are doing research and you don't have effective time management, then my brother, my sister, you are not doing good to yourself. So number one, you have to master the techniques of managing your time effectively, because you realize that as a student or as a researcher, you have experiments to undertake. At the same time, you have papers to publish. You have articles to write. You have reviews to undertake. You have some review comments that you need to address. You have lectures to attend. You have programs to attend. You have a whole lot, and you have limited time. How do you achieve all these goals within your limited time? So for you to be able to achieve these goals, you need proper time management. And also, you have to learn proven active learning techniques. We have proper learning and we have effective learning. As I said, it's not just taking your book and sit down that you are learning. It is not just going to the laboratory that you are conducting experiments. It is not just taking your question, administering your questionnaire and say you are conducting an interview or research, all right? You have to use proven active learning techniques, those that have been tried and tested by other successful students or researchers, so that you equally follow or toe their line. That will also help you to achieve your goals and objectives. Another thing, my brother, my sister, we have to look at is to develop a practical, personalized semester study plan. Now, let me ask this question. How many of us have personal study plan? Please let me know by hand. How many of us have personal study plan, or what we call personal study timetable? How many of us here? Yes, personal study. How many of us? If you do, kindly let me know. Just type in the message box that just any indication. All right. So you see, some of us, or most of us, it is a challenge. Yes, we have the normal timetable for the class. We have the normal schedule for our research team or what have you, but the challenge is that some of us, we do not have our personal study timetable that affects our study. So everything we do is just based on the general timetable. So at this point, we have to also bear in mind that irrespective of the general timetable or schedules that we do have by the school or by the department or wherever we find ourselves, we equally need personal schedules, all right? You equally, apart from the experiment that you conduct with your colleagues in the laboratory, you equally need your personal draft or your personal plan for your own experiment. All this will help you. So you need to develop practical and personalized semester study plan, all right? So in semester 1 or in the first month of the semester, how are you going to structure your studies? And as we progress, I will help you with some techniques and some tools that will also help you to do this effectively. Okay, let me move to the next slide. Now, managing your time effectively. as I rightly indicated, it is important to manage our time. All right? Because time management, as we have indicated, cannot be compromised in university or tertiary education, as well as our other endeavors of our life. So the question is, why does it matter to manage our time effectively? Okay? Time is the framework of productivity. As I said, our economy, everything we do, education, planning, everything is based on time. We do it in a frame of time. So before I proceed, can anyone share with us? Okay, you can unmute yourself and share with us before we continue. Why do you think it is important to manage our time effectively, especially as a student? Why do we need to manage our time? And how can it help us in achieving our academic goals? Yeah, so you are welcome to also contribute to this. You can unmute yourself. And I know the coordinator will call you, or you can raise your hand. The coordinator will call you or to respond to that. Please let us have a very conversative class so that we all share our ideas. As I said, we are learning from each other. Let me learn from you so that you equally learn from me. Yes, anyone can help us. Why do we need to manage our time effectively? Yes. Anyone to help us? Okay, let's progress as we try to get other responses. I hope I am audible. I hope you can all hear me clearly.
Yes, you are audible, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Now, this is one technique, one proven technique, okay? I don't know how many of us have heard of this matrix before. It's called the Eisenhower matrix, which is used to prioritize tasks, all right? In the next slide, I'll go into details of this particular matrix, how it is being applied and how to use it effectively. So this is one of the techniques to use in prioritizing our tasks, which will also help us in effectively managing our time, all right? Number 2, we have applied the 2-hour rule, 2 hours of study per hour of lecture. Now, this is what happens when we go for lectures. Usually you have about 2-hour lecture, or sometimes the lecture is divided into various periods, or you have period 1 and period 2. And sometimes each period could be either 1 hour or 45 minutes, depending on the university policy or your school's policy. All right. So according to this particular rule or this particular technique, all right, if you learn in the lecture hall, okay, if the lecture, for example, you are studying, let's say, economics as an example, let's say you are studying economics, basic economics as a particular course, right? And let's say every day you have, or every week you attend this lecture twice, let's say Mondays and Fridays. And for each day, you have 2 hours of this particular lecture, economics. So according to this rule, if you study economics for 2 hours, you should have times 2 of that same hour for your learning of that particular lessons you have learned. So if you learn, if the lecture is 1 hour, okay, you sit in the class, the lecturer delivers, okay, you sit with the lecturer, he facilitates the course for you for 1 hour, okay? It means, or it implies that when you come to your dormitory, when you go to the library to learn that particular topic which you have been taught, all right, it means you should dedicate 2 hours to learn this particular 1 hour period. And if the lecture is for 2 hours, you equally need to multiply the number of hours you learned with the lecturer by 2. So if you learned for 2 hours, it means you should be studying for how many hours? 4 hours for that particular course or for that particular topic. So this is another rule that you can apply. There are lots. This is also another one, what we call block study sessions in your weekly schedule. I have always been advising my colleagues, both students and even my colleague lecturers, you have to identify the best learning or research time for you. Okay, I'm combining both because some of us are done with our coursework and we are doing research. So I'm combining the two. Whether you are doing research, okay, or you are doing, you are studying, you are undertaking your thought courses. One thing you should know is, number one, within the course of the day or the week, ask yourself, okay, within the day, what parts or what time of the day do you learn best? Some of us are good in learning in the morning. Some are good in learning in the afternoon. Some are good in learning in the evening. So number one, you need to identify the right time for you. Maybe I am good in learning at maybe in the evening. Maybe you are good at learning in the afternoon. Therefore, if you see me learning in the evening, it doesn't mean that because I'm your friend, you have to force, okay? And always try to learn at the time that is appropriate for me, okay? You have to know the appropriate time for you, okay? That is the most important. It doesn't mean you shouldn't learn at other time, but you prioritize your effective learning within that particular effective time for you. So that is what we mean by block study. So if you know that you are most active in the morning, if you are free, then make sure you go to the library to learn. Some are good in studying at dawn, like from 3 or 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. When day breaks, you see them sleeping, you might think, oh, this is my friend, he or she likes sleeping. But you don't know what he or she did at night or at dawn, all right? So you have to identify the best time for your study. Also within the week, someone, maybe based on your schedules, maybe you are free on Monday, Tuesday. So those times that you are free, you have to shift most of your studies, most of your personal studies within this particular hour or days. That will help you to effectively manage your time. And also, another thing you should take note of is, number one, you have to avoid multitasking. Focus on one task at a time. So for example, you have 2 assignments to do, all right? Let's say you have assignments in economics, you have assignments in, let's say, mathematics, all right? So, and the deadline is just tomorrow. Now you have limited time. You bring these 2, yes, you have to do one at a time, one at a go. When you are done, before you go to the other. Don't mix, hey, I have to do this, I have to do that. You want to do everything within the same time. It will not help you, all right? So avoid multitasking, meaning you should avoid doing so many things at the same time. Try to take one thing at a time, one at a time, okay? Everything should be step by step. You try to finish one, then after that, you go to the other. If you have a very big task, then try to divide it into units, into smaller parts. You finish with the other and you go to the other. If not, if you are to handle it collectively, holistically, you might not be able to do it effectively. So these are some of the things that we need to take note of. Now, I made mention of the matrix. Now, this is how it looks like. So it has what we call the agent importance matrix. So it is sometimes called the agent importance matrix. So as we all know, in our activities, in our schedules, okay, in our endeavors, we have some things that are very urgent, and we have others that are not urgent. Some things are needed to be done at a particular time, and some things you cannot postpone them, okay? These things are needed urgently, all right? So those things need to be resolved or attended to within a short period. Then we have something, they are not agents. Okay, for those things, whether you do them tomorrow, next week, next month, it doesn't matter. All right, so we have agents and we have not agent activities or schedules. At the same time, we have things that are very important and we have things that are not what? Important. So you have to weigh a balance between these two. Those things that are agents and those that are not agents. At the same time or simultaneously, you have to find your balance between the things that are important and the things that are not important. So now beginning with the first cell, you realize that if something is important and at the same time the thing is very urgent, okay, it means you have to do it at that particular time. There's no time to delay it. There's no time to delay that particular thing. All right? That's when you go to hospitals, they have emergency hall. You realize that at the emergency hall, the cases they receive, they are urgent. You realize that the cases they receive, they are important. All right? So if the doctors have other patients they are taking care of, if there's emergency, wherever the person is, they will leave wherever they are and attend to those in the emergency hall. All right. So as a student, you should be able to identify those things, activities that are important for you and those that are urgent that need to be addressed now. They do not need postponement. They do not need procrastination. I hope you are getting me. Then secondly, we have to also know the things that are urgent, however, they are not important. You can have something, it is urgent, however, it is not important. Okay, so those things, you can delegate someone to do them for you. There are certain things that you can do by yourself, but there are certain things that you don't need to do it by yourself. You can delegate to somebody. But there are certain things, all right, that you cannot delegate. Okay, you have to do it by yourself. Okay, yes. So we have those things that are urgent and are not important. If it is urgent and important, you have to do it by yourself and you have to do it now. If it is equally urgent, okay, but it's not all that important, you can let someone do it on your behalf. Now, on the other hand, you might equally have something that is not what? Urgent. However, it is important. What do? So you have to schedule a time to do it, even though it is not urgent, but it is important for you to do it. So you have to know category of activities that will go into this. Then, last but not the least, we have things that are not important. At the same time, they are not what? Urgent. So meaning they are not all that important to you at that particular time, so far as your studies are concerned. Some of these things, you have to avoid them, eliminate them. So you realize that these are the things that may kind of waste your time. Because if you mingle these things with the other things that are urgent and important, these things that are not urgent, that are not important, they'll be wasting your time. All right? So you should have a schedule for all this. Okay? You separate them, you categorize them. If not, if you don't have a proper planning of this, you might be doing everything that comes to your mind. Hey, I have to learn. I have to go and play football. I have to do this. If you don't have plan, you'll be mixing anything that comes your way, you will do it. At the end of the day, you realize that there will be other important and urgent things that you may even forget to undertake them. So that is it for this particular one. So what are some of the tools that can help us in managing our time? So we have digital planners, okay? We have Google Calendar, we have Notion, we have My Study Life. These are some of the softwares that we can use to help us in managing our time effectively. We also have the Pomodoro technique, okay? And according to this technique, you study for 25 minutes, then have 5 minutes break. Another thing you have to know that you don't need to sit for long hours of study. Okay, when you are studying, you should be studying in blocks. Like after every 25 or 30 minutes, you take some break. Okay, just get up, walk for a few minutes, come and sit again. You learn. Okay, don't sit like 2-3 hours concentrating on your phone or your laptop or your book without getting up. Sometimes you need to even get up and relax a little bit, all right? It's very important. Also, we have what we call the daily 3. What it means that choose 3 key goals each day to accomplish, okay? Sometimes don't overwhelm yourself. You can even start with 1, okay? Then you go to 2 or 3, but at least you should have in the morning, afternoon, and evening, at least you should have a steady goal, okay? Or something, if it is a research goal, if it is publication or whatever goal that you want to. Then let me end this slide by saying you can't manage time, but you can manage how you use time. Yes, we have been talking about time management. Time in itself, you have no control over the time. However, you have control on how you use the time. That is what this statement means. Okay? You can manage how you use the time. All right? So you using the time effectively is what is known as time management. Okay, so by applying some of these techniques and also by using some of these softwares and tools, it will help you to achieve this particular goal. Now, in learning, we have what we call active learning, and it's not just learning, all right? Because when you are learning, you try to get information, all right? And as I indicated, you have to learn effectively. You have to learn, use proper methods and techniques to learn. It's not just learning anyhow. You understand? Yes. So how do we learn properly? As I indicated, we need to learn how to learn. We have to teach how to teach. We have to learn how to teach, and we have to teach how to learn. Therefore, if you are a student, you have to learn how to learn. It's not just learning. All right. Now, how to learn effectively. Now, one method is known as what? Active record. How do we implement this? Number 1, ask yourself questions after studying, okay? It's kind of evaluating yourself, assessing yourself. It's very important. So you learn a particular topic, all right? After learning, as we indicated, whether you are using the block method or whatever, based on the time you have scheduled to learn, after learning, okay, try to remember what you have learned. Maybe you learned the importance of photosynthesis, okay? Or what are the inputs for, what are the input of photosynthesis? What are the byproducts? What things are needed for photosynthesis to take place? You have to try to remember some of the things you have learned, okay? It's not just after learning, you close your book or your laptop, then you just get up and you are going. No, because know that at the end of the day, you are going to be assessed based on what you have learned. So you have to assess yourself. When you assess yourself, it will help you in your examination. Another key point, you have to summarize key concepts from your memory, okay? So what I do is, usually after learning, I will get a note, I will just get maybe a plain sheet, then I try to summarize the point I have learned. Maybe you have learned the importance of water, okay? So maybe water you use for domestic activities, and under domestic activities, we have cooking, washing, blah, blah, blah. I hope you understand. So after learning, you try to summarize it in your own way. So this will help you to remember, to recall whatever you have learned. So this is what we call the active recall, all right? So when you apply some of this, it will help you to remember. And when you do this continuously and you go to the exam, so you realize everything you have learned can be what? Recall, and you'll be able to write and pass your exams smoothly and effectively. Another point is spaced repetition, okay? When you apply this, it's going to help you a lot. All right, what do we mean by spaced repetition? You have to review materials at a spaced interval, all right? So at the end of every week, okay, or every day, or every 3 days, or every week, or every month, okay? You have to revise what you have learned, okay? I've been telling people learning is like you planting, okay? Those of you who are experienced in farming, all right? Whether you farm maize, whether you farm cassava, or what have you, you realize after sowing the seed and the rains begin to fall after a few days or weeks, you have to go and weed. If you don't weed, okay, the weeds will grow and compete with the crops for energy and other minerals, and your crops will not yield much, all right? So you revising your notes, it's like you clearing the weeds under your crops so that your crops can have a bumper harvest so that they can yield very well, all right? So you need to review your material at space intervals. So you have to determine your pace for this revision, whether daily or after every 3 days of for every week. But my advice is every day before you sleep, you can ask yourself, oh, what did I learn today? Oh, today I learned this, I learned A, B, C, D. You revise it, okay? Or after every 3 days, or after every week, maybe after every Sundays, okay? Oh, this week, what did I learn? Okay, Monday, I learned this, that. Tuesday, I learned this, that. You understand? That will help you to recollect. If you do this continuously and sustainably, it is going to help you learn effectively. You can use some of these apps that can equally help you. We have the Anki and we also have the Quizlet. Some of these apps can equally help you achieve this. Then we also have what we call the interleaving, okay, which has to do with mixing different subjects or topics to boost long-term memory. So you can apply these things and it will help you prepare effectively. And then we have preparing for assignments and exams. In the university, you cannot forgo assignment. You cannot run away from exams. They are the tools that help us build our university life or career. You understand? You are able to have a good semester so far as assignments are concerned. Number one, start early. So break large tasks into smaller goals, okay? So if you have something to do, whether it is assignment, whether it is a group work, what have you, you understand? You have to break it down into smaller goals or smaller objectives that will help you to effectively undertake them. We have review marking criteria. All this can help you to prepare for your assignment very well. And also edit, proofread before submission, okay? So if you have an assignment to undertake, just plan a time to do that assignment. Sometimes you have to undertake some research. Sometimes you would have to go to friends to help you. Sometimes you need some software to help you do your assignment effectively. Try to do all these things and write your assignment very well. One thing I would advise you is that stop copying. Some of us, what we do is that we just go and sleep and play around. When our colleagues finish with their assignment, then we just go and copy and paste. They only change our name and matric number or index number and just submit it. When you do that, you're not doing good to yourself. So you have to try and do it. Even if someone is to help you, try to understand what is being done so that in future you can equally do the same. Now on examination, we all know that after learning, blah, 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 following all the learning techniques, one major assessment tool that you need to undertake or pass through is examination. Examination is not there to scare you. Examination is just like a transitional point to indicate or to justify that, yes, you are competent in the area of study. You are competent so far as a particular course is studied. You are competent, meaning that you have understood all the concepts so far as that particular course is concerned. So going into exams, you need to prepare, okay? So focus on core concepts, not just memorization. What people call chew and pour, to just chew and just go and flow it on the paper. No, it's not just like that. You have to understand the concept you are learning, okay? What fundamentals underpin the concept or the course you are undertaking? That will help you. It is not just chewing, passing, and you chew and pour and pass your exam. It's not just like that. Because remember, in your field of research, in your career, you need those things you have learned. So you need proper understanding. Also, practice past questions under timed condition. All the lecturers or most lecturers have their questions which have been administered to your seniors, okay? So if you are learning a particular course, don't just prepare and go to the exam hall without knowing how that particular lecturer or professor sets his or her questions. Try to get some past questions and practice them. That will give you a tone so that you get insight into how that particular lecturer or professor prepares or design his or her question. That will also help you to also answer some questions before going to your exams hall. forms small focus study groups. This helps us a lot. So you should have a study group. Okay, I've been advising people. Sometimes not everything you understand in the class. You have to have a study group. And it's not just a group which is made up of friendship. No. Yes, you could have your friends, but this group is for studies. You should make sure that members of the group are those who are serious, not those who just come and be playing and gossiping and what have you. No. So during group discussion, you will share your ideas. Maybe something is the lecturer will say you will not understand, but a colleague of yours will understand. And let me give you one secret. As I've been saying, the most important way to learn is to teach. I don't know whether you are getting me. I used to say that I have practically experienced this. You see, when you learn something and you keep it to yourself, sometimes you can forget. But when you learn something and you try to share it with your colleagues, you try to remember it most often. All right. So try to have group discussion. In that group discussion, sometimes volunteer to even lead the group discussion. That will help you. All right. So this is also another important thing. So to end on this, we say studies matter, not longer. Yes, it is not the number of hours you study, but it is the strategies you put in place to study. It is the planning that you put in place, the preparation you put in place to learn. That is the most important, so that you understand whatever you are learning. Long hours of learning does not necessarily mean you understand everything. You should study with strategy and learn smarter. So this is the end of the first session. So I'll end here. So coordinator, you can take over. If there are some questions, we can look at them. If no, then we can go to our second session. Then we close. Thank you. Hello? Coordinator, are you there? All right.
Coordinator, if you're talking, you're muted. We can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I'm saying this is the end of the first session. All right. So if there are questions, our colleagues can ask their questions, or if there are concerns or contribution before we go to the next part or the second session.
Okay, Doctor. Thank you so much for this first session. It was very, very knowledge-filled. So now the platform is open to every one of us to ask our question. If you have questions in regards to everything that was discussed and presented by our speaker, the platform is open for you. Kindly raise your hands so I can recognize you and you can ask your question. This is a learning environment. Every one of us are still learning, so there is no need to feel shy or afraid. If you have any question at all, just raise your hands and I will recognize you for that question to be answered. Do we have questions? I believe we all were following.
Yeah, probably we understood clearly what he said, so maybe we can move on.
Okay, that's good. So, all
right. So if there are no questions, I have a question. All right. Okay. Assuming I am a new student in a school, and let's take China, for example. In my first semester, I had a course like Chinese. I have to undertake Chinese. And you know, Chinese language, sometimes you have to start from the scratch. You have to start with the pinyin, right? Okay. I'm new student and I'm in to learn, let's say, mechanical engineering. Okay. Someone might say, what is the correlation between Chinese language and mechanical engineering? All right. So as a student, all my courses, I'm able to pass them, but whenever I write Chinese 1, I fail. And maybe in my school, it's compulsory I pass something like HSK 3 or 2 before I'll be able to graduate, okay? And this particular student has a lot of pressure from the supervisor to publish papers. At the same time, he has different assignments from different lecturers or professors. But his or her weakness is the Chinese language. So based on what we have studied so far, okay, how will you help these students so that he or she can pass the Chinese course? At the same time, he or she will be able to undertake other assignments that he or she has been given by different professors. At the same time, he or she will be able to do the research given to him or her by the supervisor. I don't know whether my question is clear.
Holy Spirit.
Yes, let's share our thoughts. All right. Based on what we have discussed, we have a new student who is in China, irrespective of the school. He or she is to do mechanical engineering. But Chinese language is one of the courses, and that is the person's weakness. All right. In the midst of different assignments, research, and what have you, how will you advise these students to strategize his studies or learning so that he or she can pass at the end of the day? Assuming this person is your friend, how will you help him or her based on what we have just discussed?
Oh, gonna give an important that based on what you just prioritizing stuff and also allocating for each lessons that we have. I think as the person think that it's not urgent to pass the Chinese language, mostly like those HSK 4 is at the end of the full 3. Then boom, HSK 3 comes in front of them. So I think that's what most students do. So like you said, we should allocate time to wait. I mean, if it's like 30 minutes a day, we can be able to learn gradually within a 2-year space, and like using the Akin app, like you said, keeping us to remember the things we have learned about Chinese, because like Chinese is one language that you keep forgetting if you don't like review it over and over.
Yeah.
So you can use that and review just the little things that we learn, and those little blocks will end up being something that will help us to finally pass the HSK 3 at the end. So we can allocate time for the Chinese, even in the process of learning, submitting assignments, publication, though it's 2 years time. And that's what most students fail to acknowledge, that 2 years can come and pass quickly, especially if you're in China. So at least 30 minutes a day, though, because it's not urgent, but it's important, will be able to help you to pass HSK 3 at the end of 3 years, or maybe 2 years or 4 years.
All right, thank you. That's Miss Teresa Simpson, right? Thank you for your contribution, and it's well noted. That's great. Yes, who else can share, can give this particular student advice so that he or she will be able to achieve his or her academic goals? Yes, can we get another contribution from a different person?
Yes, sir. Are you getting me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think it depends because if this student is a first or year student and whether the student is a second or third year student, it depends. But let's just consider that this student is a first year student. Regarding that, I will advise them that they should like take the challenge very, very seriously. Because in my perspective, the challenge is urgent and it is also important. I consider it urgent because once you complete your HSK 1 and 2, the urgency is there for you to write your HSK 3 exam and then put it behind you. Like that, you have excess time to focus on your research work when you get into your second year. So even though there are competing priority when it comes to issue of sex or assignment, study plan and thing, I will advise that person to take into consideration this effective study habit and by prioritizing the Eisenhower metrics, like you mentioned, considering that the challenge is urgent and it is also important. And even though we were encouraged not to multitask, right, to avoid multitasking, but I will give advice by telling that person to at least, try to multitask when it comes to their studying section. By prioritizing first the Chinese, which is both urgent and important, and also focusing on basic coursework. And when they get into their second and third year, and focus more on their research project. That's my take.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Coley, for your great contribution. And I'm very happy with the point you rose. That's very great and excellent. And as I said, this is just a theoretical question, but I know we have people in such situation, all right? So can we get a last contribution, then we move on to the next session? All right, I presume that others are waiting for the last session to contribute. So coordinator, I hope we can move on to the next session, right? Because of the time. I know others will contribute as we go along. All right, so thank you and welcome from the short commercial break, if we may call it so. Yeah, so now let's move on to the next session. Let me see. All right, please, can my screen be seen?
Yeah, your screen is clear.
Oh, okay, all right, then let me proceed. Okay, so as I indicated that I am a lecturer from Tamale Technical University. Equally, I am the Assistant Director of Research for Organization of African Academic Doctors, that is OAD Global. I don't know how many of you are aware of OAD Global. How many of you are aware? And I know most of us are part of OAD. How many of us are part of OAD? Kindly let me know in the comment section. All right. If you are not, oh, this is your first time of hearing about OAD. All right. So under OAD, we have different organization of African students. Okay. We have the Liberia, we have the Sierra Leone, we have the Ghanaian students, we have the Nigerian student, and what have you, you understand? But we have the mother organization, which is the African Academic Doctors. And so if this is your first time, after this program, I know you can read more about OAD. We have various groups, especially on WeChat, where you can join, and also maybe you can get access to different information so far as studies in China and Africa is concerned. as well. So because I am the research assistant, I would like to take this opportunity to also introduce OOD to those of you who are not aware of OOD. And also, before I start with my second session, as a Ghanaian, you know, we have what we call the BEC, the Basic Education Certificate Examination in I think 4 West African countries, right? Those who speak English. We have Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. Am I right? I think these 4 countries, we read the WASI and BEC, right? So I think we have something in common. So since in my childhood, I've been hearing of Liberia, and I'm told these particular examinations that I've made mention of, we mostly share it together. So meaning these 4 countries, in terms of education, we share common culture, we share common values so far as education is concerned. Am I right? Can somebody
Yes, you are right.
Certainly you are.
Isn't it?
You are right.
Oh, okay, that's great. So it means even though I've not been in Liberia, since we share common learning or educational system or examination system, it means I am a Liberian. More to the fact, we are all from West Africa. You understand? It's not only the one from your home country. So far, we are all African. It means African is our home, right? Irrespective of where I find myself, we are also Africans. Irrespective of whether you are from Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, Burkina, wherever you are my sister, you are my brother. All right. So let's build this unity together. Let's sustain it. We should help each other, irrespective of wherever we find ourselves. If when only we are called to duty, if we have the ability and capability and the capacity, we should not hesitate to volunteer to serve our communities. So now having looked at the first session, now let's look at how to build your study plan. We've talked about time management, how to manage our time, how to undertake various, the tools for time management. We've looked at assignment, how to effectively undertake your assignment and preparation for your exams. So at this session, we are going to look at how to build your study plan. As we said, you need to have a study strategy. If you don't have a study strategy, you would waste a lot of time and you'll not be able to achieve much goals. But with proper learning, with proper time schedule or with proper plan, you are able to achieve a lot within a short period of time. So let's continue with our lecture. So now the question is, why do we need to create a study plan? My brother, my sister, why do we need to create a study plan? We've talked about time management and what have you, but a study plan, is it important? If it's not important, it means we don't need to even discuss it here. Yes, let me know in the comment section whether it is important. Do we create a study plan? Should every student create a study plan? A plan? Must we have study plan? If I don't have a study plan, can't I? Okay, Teresa, you say it is important. Really? I don't think it's important too. Are you sure? It's only one person who is saying it's important. We are about 22. If you write it and you have 1/22, it means you have failed. It means only one person who is saying it is important. The rest, everyone is silent, meaning it's not important. Okay, it's very important. It keeps us in check. Okay, Coley, thank you. I'm consistently having contribution from these 2 great people. Well noted. Abraham Dixon, okay, very important. Wow, the answers are coming. I like that. When I see your comments, it gives me more motivation. So please let the comment flow. All right, that's very great. So from your response, it means it is important to create a study plan. All right. Yes, from Sansu, it's very important. Great. Thank you very much. It's very important. Now let's continue. Now, why is it important? Number one, HP says it's good to create a study plan. Thank you very much. I'm now getting your motivation. So you see, Your motivational is bringing the answers. All right. All right. So number one, it prevents last minute panic. I don't know how many of you have ever experienced that. You are going to the exams with anxiety, shivering, will be like, hey, I've not learned to, I didn't prepare well. When you don't learn well and you go into exams, it reduces your confidence. Your confidence level is very low. All right. You will not be too courageous. You'll be panicking. You'll be like, there'll be pressure on you and you'll not be able to focus and write well. All right. This can be prevented when you have proper study plan. All right. Also, it builds balance between study, rest, and recreation. We all want leisure. They say all works and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I don't know why everything is a boy. I think they should have said maybe make somebody a girl. They should mention everything boys. And let me keep quiet. If not, the gender people will come and arrest me, right? So, by the way, what it simply means is that we need to create a balance between learning, between Teresa, you are laughing. Yes, I know. Your gender, if I continue like that, you come and say I'm doing gender bias. But when it is against the boys, we are all quiet. How many of you have ever questioned this statement? Yeah. By the way, let's continue. Yes, we want to rest. We want to learn. We want to play some games. We want to go some bars and whatever. You understand? So if you have proper study plan, it will help you to navigate your way through all this. You have time for your learning. You have time to go to the field to play. You have time for your jogging. You have time for other things. You have time to visit tourist sites. You have time to play around and what have you. You understand? And it will not affect your studies. It will not affect your exams. Everything will be on point. Also, it promotes accountability and discipline, right? Because the plan will serve as a guide for you. It will serve as a roadmap. When you follow it assiduously, when you follow it effectively, it is going to help you to be self-disciplined, okay? It will also promote accountability because at the end of the day, you know I'm to do this, okay? And you have to ensure that at the end of the day, you do it. Then they say, if it must be done, who can complete this statement for me? Yes, if it must be done, who can complete it for me? Let me see, who will be the first to complete this statement for me? Yes, they say if it must be done what? Yes. Who complete the statement for me? Hey, I don't know. Who said I don't know? Teresa. I like that. Even you say you don't know, it's also an answer. Oh, wow. Someone said properly. Someone must be done well. Yeah, must be done properly. Wow. They did. Yeah, thank you for your contribution. So, Teresa, I hope you have now learned the answer. If it must be done, it must be done well. That is it. So if you have to learn, you have to learn well. If you have to write exams, you have to pass well. If you have to eat, you have to eat and get satisfied. I hope I'm right. The same thing, anything you need to do, you have to do it well. Therefore, if it must be done, it must be done well. That is it. Or it must be done properly. That's the most important thing. Yes, HP must be done correctly. Yes, you have to do it well, or you do it correctly, you have to do it properly. They are all the same. Thank you for your great contribution. In fact, I like this organizational association. You have active individuals and active audience. I really like your responses. Your responses come on time, very accurate, on point. I like the motivation, and I'll be part of your next program. Yes. So it promotes accountability and discipline. Therefore, let me end this slide by saying this statement from Benjamin Franklin, who says, failing to plan is planning to fail. Therefore, if you fail to plan, you will now plan what? To fail. All right? If you don't put things on their way, those things will put you on your way. I don't know if you get it. If you don't do things how you are supposed to do them, those things will find their way of making themselves. And at the end of the day, you are not going to achieve your way, you are not going to achieve your purpose. You are not going to achieve your goal. Therefore, as good student, as a good researcher, okay, as someone who is very objective, optimistic of whatever you are doing, someone who is ambitious, you need to what? Plan properly. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Now, I was talking, we've been talking about study plan. Okay? I will not do justice to this presentation if I don't present or show you a framework or a template of how to undertake such study plans. Okay? So let's take it that in a semester you have 12 or 14 weeks. Some people have 14 weeks per semester, and others have even 15 or 12 weeks. Okay, 12 weeks. So now let's assume you have 12-week study plan. Okay, now how do you schedule this study plan? My network just fluctuated. I hope you can hear me. Am I audible now? My network just fluctuated. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, please.
All right. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So now you have to have a template like this. So you have to schedule them in different weeks. So we have week 1 to 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 12. Thank you very much, Mr. HP. All right. Then you have topics or courses. You have major deadlines, study focus, and reflection. So let's assume this is your first year in your undergrad studies, okay? Now this is what you need to do in order to have effective study plan for that particular semester, all right? This is, bear in mind, this is different from your personal study timetable, okay? Study timetable, that one you have your daily studies for the whole week, Monday to Sunday, what you should be learning at each particular time. However, this it's like a scheme of work, okay? So a scheme of your study, okay? It plans your study from the first week to the last week of the effective lecture period, all right? So for example, in your first to fourth week, that's in the first month of your studies, okay? Usually within this, you have foundation courses that you shall be undertaking and learning, okay? You have different assignments that you'll be doing, or you have reports to write, okay? Then when it comes to the focus of these studies, usually it is to help you understand. Usually you see introduction to blah, 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 or fundamentals of this and that, okay? So these topics that you shall be learning within the first 4 months of your study, they are basically to open your mind. They are basically to introduce you to that field of study. So usually you will see introduction to fundamentals of, basis of, okay, understanding ABC, the understanding XYZ. Then in terms of reflection, adjust your schedule. What it means that at the end of, within this period, you can have your schedule, but it can be fluctuating. You might think, okay, I played this here, but I think it is better I place this here. So you can be making some changes, some alternations and what have you, all right? Then between the 5th to 8th week, you have your mid-semester test, all right? So within this, you have your mid-semester exams, you practice your revision, you have your revisions, you have, don't forget, we have already talked about how to do your recall, how to revise, and what have you, okay? So usually this is the week that you have to intensify your revision for what you have learned for the first 4 weeks, because we are within the period of what? Mid-semester examination. After this, then you need to review your weakness. Even after the mid-semester examination, you get your results. Then that's where you begin to review your performance. You need to assess yourself. You evaluate yourself. You ask yourself, am I doing well? If you are going on towing on the right way, then you need to keep it up. If you know that You're not doing well, then you need to sit up. All right. Don't wait until the last day where you go to the exams or then you find yourself wanting. No. You have to start preparing at that level. So the mid-semester is like you are playing football match, right? You have first half and the second half. Usually, what most of us are football fans, right? So whether you are supporting Chelsea or whatever, but I know the whole world, we have only two teams. We have Chelsea and the others. Okay, no one should argue with me. That is my understanding. And the best team in the world is Chelsea, right? Me, that's my favorite team. So the rest, don't mention your team here, since we have the best team is Chelsea. That's just by the way. All right. So you realize that when they finish with the first half, when they go to the room, the coaches, hey, they tell their that period before before what before they go for the second half. Okay, so by the time they come from the second half, they have seen their weaknesses and they have worked on that. The same thing. Your main semester exams is like the first half for you. By then, you're able to know the courses you are not doing well, the areas that you have not studied, those places you didn't understand where you are able to know them and you are able to remediate those weaknesses. Then the second half of the semester, the same semester, then you're able to put things in place, then it will help you. So you have final preparation, final exam, summary, and mock test, and evaluate progress. At the end of the semester, you have to evaluate yourself before you go to the subsequent or the next semester. Then you have steps to build your study plan. How do you build your study plan? Based on this. Number one, list all your courses and key assessment dates. All right. Every lecturer or professor will tell you when you have either a mid-semester or a test or whatever. Even though some of them have surprise quizzes, sometimes you go to the exams or unknowingly, the lecturer will surprise you with their quiz. Take your paper, write your name, and blah, 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 answer that. Yeah, they are also, so you equally have to prepare for those unannounced quizzes and tests. Then, secondly, what's happening? Okay, estimate weekly study hours per course. That's one thing we have to equally take note of. Okay, you have to estimate to know how many hours shall you be studying per day. Then, you know, if every day at least I will be studying 3 hours, then per week, every week, how many hours will you be able to study? Per course, you have to schedule all this. You'll be able to do this effectively if you apply what we discussed in the first session. Then block consistent study times and rest periods. Don't forget, we talked about block studies, where you know the most favorable time for you. If you best study in the morning, then you do most of your studies in the morning. If it is in the afternoon or evening, you do so. So block consistent study times and periods, the rest what periods. You equally have to have your resting period. Don't forget, we talked about that. Not just learning, sitting down for like 8 hours learning without resting. No. You have to study for some minutes, rest for some minutes, and continue. And also don't forget with active recall practice. After some time, try to recall what you have studied for the past minute or hours. Include review session. Yes, that's what I was just saying. You have to review, okay, so that you can revise what you have already studied. Okay, reverse day one weekly for catch-up or reflection. So this is also another strategy. Now, let's see on the techniques of reflection and adjustments. Okay, so in your review of what you have studied, you might see some things that you need to change. You might see the need to make some changes in your plan or your schedules to help you achieve your study goals or research goals. So these are some of the things you need to do. Ask yourself, what do you ask yourself? When am I most productive? Yes. If it is research, ask yourself, when is your most productive period? If it is study, what time are you able to study, and within short time you're able to understand a lot, you are able to grasp a lot? Ask yourself that question. what are my biggest distractions? Look, I tell you, some people, they learn with music. They cannot study. Some people would like to learn in noisy places. Some people want when they are learning, they want to be hearing the sound of vehicles. But someone like me, I prefer a very quiet place with no distractions and what have you. You understand? So you should know what distracts you. Someone can be learning. If people are passing in front of him or her, he or she will be distracted. Therefore, if you are going to learn, go and sit at a place where no one will distract you. So know the thing that distracts your learning. Or if it is your research or your experiment, know what distracts you. All right? Also, how will I reward consistency? How will I reward consistency? All right? So these are some of the questions you can pose to yourself to help you with effective learning and studies. So among all, even though there are lots, that is not to say all what we have discussed are exhaustive. No, these are just the tip of the iceberg. This has just some guides or guidelines that I'm sharing with you. There are a lot, okay? So these are just some of the things that when you apply them in your studies, in your research, or whatever you are doing, it will help you achieve your goals and objectives. So at this point, let me conclude on the following points. Number one, a semester that is well planned is a semester half conquered. Okay? Meaning if you start a particular semester, you plan effectively, you manage your time very well. Okay? It is tantamount. Okay? It's synonymous by saying that you have achieved half of your goals of that particular semester. By planning alone, having your schedules, having a strategy for the semester before it begins, okay? It is a way to tell you that you have achieved 50% of your goal. The rest is for you to follow and implement your plan. That is all. Because if you don't have a plan, it means you are failing to plan. And if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Don't forget about that. Also, consistency is more powerful than intensity. Who can explain this point to me? Yes, consistency is more powerful than intensity. Yes, who can throw light on this point for me? Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Yes. What does it mean? In short, we'll end very soon. You can type or you can unmute yourself. Yes.
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 Actually, it goes with the idea that the act of an individual of being very, very consistent when it comes to his own study schedule, it is more important than the amount of strength in place or what he or she plays in a particular study time that does not reflect any form of consistency. So like take for instance, John Brown is a university student who see it needful to like study on a periodic basis for a very short time. And there is this other student who is not consistent in his studying schedule, but like peak a day or two within a week, and then put on a huge, time to like study, and then he get obsessed because he is not consistent in his study schedule. So in a nutshell, I think it is saying that to be consistent, it is far more better than putting in all of our time that doesn't guarantee consistency.
So my
All right.
intake would be that consistency yields more tangible and lasting results than intensity, especially in the area of study. If you have studied over a long period of time consistently, you remember a lot when you are in the exam hall. But if you take a day to just absorb everything, like you said, like chew and put out, you realize when you get into the exam hall, you have forgotten bulk of the things that you studied during the night. So consistency is more powerful than intensity.
All right, right. Thank you for your great contribution. And I think all what you said are on point. Thank you very much for your wonderful contribution. I like that. All right, so let's continue. So all what you said is true. So consistency is more powerful than what? Intensity. So let me just give you a simple example to this. If you are to learn, okay, let's say you dedicate 1 hour to learn every day. It's better than dedicating, let's say, 10 hours to learn in a month. 10 hours continuous, let's say the whole month, you dedicate 10 continuous hours to learn. And you dedicating 1 hour to learn every day. I don't know whether my analysis is correct. So what we mean by consistency is that if you schedule to learn, let's say, for an hour, you should be that, all right? So every day, you know that at the end of the day, you'll be able to achieve your what? Your objective. And this will be reflected in your plan. It will be reflected in your strategy. Don't forget, as we said, it will help you to be what? Self-discipline. And that's very important. Thank you very much. Then let's go to the next point. Review and adjust your plan weekly. As I said, review is very important. Review, what it means is that you have done something. You have to go back to see whether what you have done is okay, whether it's correct. Do you need some correction? Do you need some improvement? All right. So that is what the review that's why the review comes in. So if you review and you realize that there are places that needs improvement, you do so. If you realize there are things you need to correct, you do so. And this is not only in studies, in everything we do, because we have what we call continuous improvement. Okay? Yes, we have continuous improvement and we have continual what? Improvement. So you have to know what to do to improve what you did yesterday is very important. We have another point is all what we have discussed. It boils down to this. You have to stay disciplined and you stay what? Curious. What do we mean by you stay curious? They said curiosity is the mother of what? Or necessity is the mother of invention, right? And also, most discoveries that we have today were or happened through curiosity. All right? Most of us are science students or from the basis of science. We know that most researchers, most scientists, most equipment that have been discovered today, they were discovered through curiosity. We want to know what is here. We want to see what is here. We want to know when you go up, what is at the top there. Yes, that's how come people who are able to discover a whole lot of things. If you combine 2 atoms of hydrogen and one atom of, what's the name? 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen, what do you get? You understand? Or 1 atom of hydrogen and 2 atoms of oxygen, what do you get? People are very curious. Through this, we have the periodic table and a whole lot. You understand, in matter and what have you. So curiosity is very important. As a student, you have to be curious. You should, the teacher said this. What does it mean? The teacher said this, or the lecturer or the professor said this. How is it done? You shouldn't be just like anything they say, you just go by it. Yes, they say something. Yes, you have to go outside the box. You have to try to question some things. You have to try to understand beyond what is just being presented to you. And that also helps you in what? Achieving your study goals. So stay disciplined and also what? Stay curious. So this is the end of my presentation. At this point, I'd like to thank you for listening, for your audience. So at this juncture, I hand it over to the coordinator. And if there are questions, I'm ready to respond to them. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation tonight. We highly appreciate everything that was discussed here to us, and we can assure you that those methods, those steps those things will be taken into consideration as it relates to building our effective study life. So everyone kindly appreciate our speaker for tonight by moving in the chat session and appreciating him for the wonderful sessions that we have with him tonight. Please appreciate him with emoji, with words, and the platform is also open to us to ask questions. If you have a question, kindly just be recognized by raising up your hand or asking your question within the chat session so that your question can be answered. And if you also learn one or two from tonight's session, kindly share with us within the chat box as well. What I learned is, or some of the things I learned tonight is, multitasking with your academic work is not advisable. Yeah, what is advisable is to have a plan. You can't try to do all at once. You must have a plan to be effective in getting that work done. So thank you so much, Dr. Hussein. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. We highly appreciate you, and we highly appreciate all of the strategies you showed to us tonight to take into consideration to have a smooth study life and to be successful in our academic work. I believe I'm being heard clearly. Am I being heard?
Yes, you are being heard.
Yes, you are clear.
Okay, thank you so much. So do we have questions? Is there any question? Perhaps we want to know some things outside of the box as it relates to building effective study plan, or all has been said and understood?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, who's speaking, please?
I'm Justin Coleman.
Okay, you are welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so firstly, thanks to Dr. Hussein for his exploration. It was actually a great one. Well, you spoke about May semester evaluation and considering how schedule planning is like in places like China, right? I want to ask, what is the alternative route wherein if May semester evaluation does not apply, what are some alternative route that you would suggest? Take for instance, for China, there are some courses that runs from week 1 as far as week 7, which is ending at the May semester week. And another one will start from week 7 as far as week 17. So there are some courses that disobeyed the May semester evaluation with like that student cannot assess themselves, using that criteria. So I'm just want to know if things happens like that, what are alternative routes you can suggest for a student as a mode of evaluating him or his or herself?
All right. Thank you very much. So if I understand your question, you mean in my presentation, I made mention of how to effectively kind of plan or have your study plan, right, or the strategy. And I made mention of evaluating yourself in the mid of the semester, something like that, right? And you are
yeah.
saying in some universities, we have some courses that run from week 1 to like week 7. Others could run from like week 10 to like to week 20 or something like that, right? So yes, so one thing, thank you for the great question. You just made me remember. One thing we should take note of, every university has its system of study, all right? We have what we call the modular system, okay? And that is what your question is based on. What do I mean by the modular section? With that, you realize that you do not start all the courses at the same time. You start some and they will end within a particular range of week or weeks. Afterwards, other programs will continue, right? Some programs have been scheduled. Therefore, when you have such situation, it means you don't start all courses at the same time and you equally don't end all of them at the same time. So if that is the case, number one, as we rightly made mention, you have to plan the semester ahead before you begin your studies. So when you begin, that is when you have, so before that, you will know when you have to get the timetable for all the courses. So you have to get your that from your school secretary or any other officer who will give you the courses for the semester and the time they shall all be starting. So if you know economics is starting week 5, you should have it. If you know this course is starting in week 8, you should know it. You should know when each course starts and when it ends. So if you do not have a particular period for semester, for mid-sem for all the courses, however, most of these modular courses, what they do is that at the end of the module, so if it would take 5 weeks for one module to be exhausted, usually what the lecturers or the professors do at the end of that module, then you may write the mid-semester for that course, or you even write the final exams for it. And if the module is, for example, for 8 weeks, usually at the end of the 4th week, you write mid-semester exam for that particular course. It will not be applicable to other courses. So irrespective of the system that your university runs, you have to know whether your university is running the traditional system where all courses begin at the same time and end at the same time and write mid-semester at the same time. You should know that. Or you are running the modular system where different courses begin at different periods and end at different periods. So each or irrespective of this system that your university or your school is applying, yours is to plan your study in line with that. You have to dance to the tone of your university. You have to plan or strategize in line with your university's arrangement or policy. I hope you are understanding that. So when you plan in that way, then you go back to what I said, or the points we talked about, the tips we give, then you apply them. Having the plan, having your following them and your effective learning methods and whatever, you will now go and apply them. But in the beginning, you should know the system your university is running. If you don't know, the best person to ask is your school secretary or anyone who is in charge of allocating the timetable or sharing of courses or giving information about courses when they are to start and when they are to end. And when you should also know in the beginning of the semester, you should know when the semester is ending so that you wouldn't be playing. You might think, oh, this semester I have 20 weeks, but no, at the end of the day, you just have 16 weeks. In the 15th week, they tell you that next you are writing exam and you'll be there panicking. So from the beginning of the semester, you should know this semester, how many weeks are we spending? How many weeks do we have for learning? How many weeks do we have for revision? When are we ending each of these courses? You should know all this, and it will help you to effectively plan. And at the end of the day, you have a smooth semester. I don't know whether I've been able to answer your question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Well noted. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other question, moderator? Maybe some people may feel shy to ask, but like orally, they can equally type in the comment section.
Okay.
All right, so I can see from the comment section, Mr. iPhone, what's your real name? I wish I will know your real name and the university you are coming from. Although I came late, however, I think I learned a thing or two. Thank you for the presentation, Doctor. Thank you to Mr. iPhone. I hope you will know your real name. Then Mr. Chris, yeah, please type your questions. Yeah, you can type your questions. Then Mr. Coley, comment, all right? I don't know whether my pronunciation is correct. Pardon me if it is not right. Key takeaway, examination is not meant to scare you, but to evaluate you for transition. Yes, the most important way to learn is to teach. Thank you very much. Yes, that has been one of my favorite quotations. Yes. Yeah, so if you want to learn a lot, you have to teach. And if you have to teach well, you have to learn. Yes? So the most effective way to learn is to teach. And the most effective way to teach is to learn. Yes. Any other question, comments, and any suggestions, the way forward? Or maybe if there is something I need to equally improve on my presentation, you can equally share with me so that I improve my presentation, because we are all learning. Learning is a continuous process, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have to be frank, I've learned a lot. So, a moderator, I don't know, as some of our members said, they were not aware of OAD. So as I rightly introduced, I'm the assistant research director, and I know that a lot of African students have benefited a lot. Some people have been stuck with their research. Some people have been stuck with their publications. We have different research groups in OAD. We have different challenges by different African students. So with your association or you being part of OAD, some of these challenges can equally be resolved. Some of these study issues, wherever you are, OAD has representation on most universities. Yeah, so when you are in China, know that you are not alone as a Sierra Leonean student, but know that you have other African students who are with you as your brothers, as your sisters. All right, if you have challenges with your research, they say when you advertise your sickness, that's when you get the medicine. All right, yes, so know that you are not alone. This association is with you. Yes. OAD2 is with you. Your African brothers and sisters are equally with you. You are not the only person. A lot of us are going through a lot in our studies, in our laboratory work, in our experiments, in our research, in our investigations. However, we have to help each other. It will not benefit me if I come to China and study alone and go back whilst my friend is suffering there. I've gone through a lot of challenges and at least I have some little experience. At least I'm all here to only share my experience with you. So, you are not alone, okay? No, don't think, oh, maybe I only know, I think this, how many people attended? About 20-something people attended today's class. Don't think, oh, I'm only here with only these 20 people. I know even there from your country alone, you have a lot, yes, who have not been able to join due to one or two reasons. So we are always there for you. If you have any challenge with your research, just see your facilitators or your executives. I know they have our contacts. And I know this is not the end of our collaboration. This is just the beginning.
Is it me?
Addressed by the association. You can channel it through your executives. Our doors are open. The executives can equally get where we can collaborate. And at the end of the day, we have benefits for our continent, for our members, for our people. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for being late, but Doctor, can you kindly elaborate on how to build an effective study habits for me personally? And this has been a major challenge for me since I began my undergraduate journey. Oh, Mr. iPhone, thank you very much. So I have given the general guide to effective time management. However, if you have personal challenges, I think it is better we have one-on-one discussion. All right, so executives, please take notes. Mr. iPhone, maybe
okay.
I would suggest, due to the time limitation, okay, you will see me after this, what's the name? After this study, after this session, maybe my WeChat handle can be shared with you through your executives, all right? Then we can have one-on-one consultation. I think with that, I can give you a more tailored or more customized guidelines as to, because I would have to know what you are studying, okay? I have to know your actual plan. I hope you understand. And maybe the time here will not permit us. I hope you understand. So please see me through your executives, and then afterwards we can have what's the name? We can kind of have a more proper discussion on your suggestion. Yes. So I will share. I think Chris, one of your executives has my WeChat handle, so it can be shared with you. And if any of you has any concern or whatever, which maybe that this time might not be enough for us to digest or address, you can message me backstage, then we can carry it over there. Then someone is saying, what's your full name, please? Okay, the question is...
That's not for you. That's not for you, sir.
That's question for me, right? Okay.
Yeah, but it's for the iPhone user.
iPhone user.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he said his name is Amadou J. Kroma. It's my name. I am studying at Hanjo Normal University, majoring in economics, international digital. Oh, that's great. Wow. So, Mr. Amadou, I will be around through your executives. You can get my contact. Then we shall look at the details. Okay. I'm happy you are bold enough to come out. Some people have challenges, but they are shy. If you are shy, you will not be able to vomit out your challenges. And if you don't vomit it out, you will not be able to get solutions. I think that is why the executives deem it important to organize this program. So I would like us to really appreciate our executives. Please, let's appreciate our executives for organizing this educative and interesting program. Let's appreciate them. They've done well. Kudos to our executives. They've done well. They are really doing well. Kudos. Let's give them a clap for any motivation. Our executives are doing well. Yes, our hosts, they are doing well. Yes, so
thank you so much.
With us, Doctor? Okay, so I will do so through your executive. So, executive, can you remind me? I will share my PPT with you so that you can share it with your active and vibrant members. Is there a group?
We will definitely do that.
Oh, yes, there are a whole lot of fun. So, I want it to be official. So, what we'll do is that after this meeting, I will share the OAD president contact with your executives, right? So that the president can add them officially, all right? I just want us to follow systematic procedure so that actually you get proper orientation so that the organization know that these people who are joining OOD are joining from a recognized association, that they are joining from the Liberian Student Association, right? If I'm not mistaken, all right? So that if there's any recognition, acknowledgement, at least the association can be acknowledged, because I just introduced OOD through this association. So I'll do so through the executives. So the executives, please have my WeChat. After this meeting, we have other engagement as well, so that our people can benefit. All right? Yes. So is there any group chat? Yes. So those group chat and what have you will be shared with you through your executive. I know you have a group for this association, right? So I'll pass it through. Thank you very much. Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Hussein. We highly appreciate you. We appreciate your presence and everything that was presented to us. So this brings us to the end of the Q&A section. Now we will be welcoming Honorable Arlington to do a closing remark and to close us today. Honorable Arlington, are you there?
I'm here, boss. How you doing? All right. I want to say thank you to Liberian Student Union for giving us the opportunity to be here as a member of the academic committee. And our speaker, want to say thank you for that presentation. We are grateful that you came, and thanks for accepting our invite. And we will be at your door soon again to ask you for another favor. And to everyone who keep up the time to stay and learn, we say thank you for attending, and thank you for taking up the time to joining our program. So we have a lot to be said, but I'll lower my height to wait for my boss man so that I can continue from there. So thank you once again. My name is Arlington the Allen Jr.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
Can
Chairman,
you stop sharing your screen?
Okay. Let me do that.
Okay, thank you so much for attending, everybody. We're about to close, and I'm going to share with you our next event. I also want to thank LSURC for giving us this opportunity. I want to thank His Excellency Orlando. He's working very hard. Can you stop sharing? He's working very hard, and he's up and down throughout the cities. It's very hard work he's doing. I want to, on behalf of the Academic Excellence Committee, I want to thank him. I also want to thank the National Vice President, Rufi, and all the other high-working executives. There are people in the background that we don't see, people who really help LSURC, even the AEC. There are people you're not seeing who really help to make this a success. So I want to appreciate them. So before we close, I just want to share with you our next event. We will be hosting on November 15th an event on research. Most of the events on research, you just talk a little bit about the business of research and they don't go in details. But then we're trying to think about a framework where we will start to talk about research and researching in a holistic view, where we talk about the writing, the one everybody usually teach on, the abstract, introduction, results and discussion, and result and discussion, methodology, and people just end the discussion there. So we will go through those and we'll extend it to the HELIC about submission, peer review process, and the whole research process for executing your first paper. That will be done on November 15th. And once again, the Academic Excellence Committee, your chairman, and we got co-chair who's in the background working very hard. We have the host today, Anita, SG, Arlington, Joseph, and Joshua. So we want to thank all of you and have a good night. Thank you.